In the heart of Seville stands a stadium that once felt more like a ghost town than a football fortress. Estadio La Cartuja, 70,000 seats, 120 million euros in original construction costs, and yet barely used. No home team, no roaring crowd week after week, just silence echoing across a sea of empty seats. But suddenly, this forgotten giant is roaring back to life. In just 10 months, and with only 15 million euros, engineers tore out a full Olympic-grade athletics track, dropped the entire field level by 5 meters, and rebuilt the lower stands, pulling fans 20 meters closer to the action. Why now? And how do you turn a dead stadium into a World Cup-ready showpiece? Start with what they were working with. Estadio La Cartuja opened in 1999 as a multi-use Olympic-style stadium, hoping to bring the Summer Games to Seville. It had a capacity of around 57,000 seats and featured a full 400-meter athletics track circling the pitch. The design? Functional, but far from intimate. Fans sat far from the action with sightlines meant for sprints, not goals. The field was surrounded by a concrete moat of emptiness, and without a club to call it home, it just sat there. But with Spain named a co-host of the 2030 World Cup alongside Portugal and Morocco, Seville got a second chance. La Cartuja was selected as one of the Spanish venues, but there was a catch. The stadium had to meet FIFA's standards. That meant big changes. The first and most dramatic move? Ditch the track. Sounds simple, but this was a major operation. Engineers had to excavate the entire field area and lower the playing surface by 5 meters. Not centimeters, meters. Why? To create space for new seating closer to the pitch. By doing this, they were able to build a brand new lower ring of stands. These stands weren't just plopped in. They required new foundations, rebar supports, and carefully sloped sightlines to ensure no seat blocked another. This new configuration shortened the gap between players and fans by more than 20 meters in some areas. It completely changed the energy inside the stadium. Lowering the pitch and adding new seating meant they had to check and reinforce the original structural shell. The bowl-style concrete superstructure, over 25 years old, had to be reanalyzed for additional load-bearing stress. They added steel reinforcements around key load points, especially where the new lower stands connect to the older structure. These new additions had to handle vibration, crowd movement, and seismic activity. Remember, southern Spain sits on active fault lines. With the new seating ring added, the stadium's capacity jumped from 57,000 to nearly 70,000. That makes it the third largest stadium in Spain, behind only Camp Nou in Barcelona and Santiago Bernabéu in Madrid. To meet UEFA and FIFA regulations, seating spacing and exit routes were recalibrated. The lower tier alone now holds over 10,000 additional fans. Every single seat was re-evaluated using 3D modeling. Designers used computer simulations to track sightlines and viewing angles, especially in the newly added lower stands. The result? Every seat now has an unobstructed view of the 105 by 68 meter natural grass pitch. There are no blind spots, no obstructed views, and the curve of the stands brings you right into the heart of the action. Dropping the pitch wasn't just about depth, it was also about infrastructure. Engineers installed a new subsoil drainage system, pumping water away from the field with high-capacity pumps under the new concrete base. The system is designed to handle up to 150 millimeters of rain per hour, triple what Seville typically sees. On top of that sits a state-of-the-art hybrid grass pitch, reinforced with synthetic fibers to increase durability and reduce downtime between matches and concerts. A brand new LED floodlight system now surrounds the roofline, delivering up to 2,000 lux across the playing surface, easily clearing UEFA Elite and FIFA broadcast requirements. These lights are fully programmable for light shows and dimming effects, perfect for concerts and pre-match entertainment. On the acoustic side, the new stands create what designers call a cauldron effect. The closer walls bounce sound inward, intensifying crowd noise. It's like an echo chamber of chants, claps, and cheers. Combine that with a semi-enclosed roof, and you've got the makings of one of Europe's loudest stadiums. The control center inside the stadium received a total overhaul. New camera mounts, high-speed data ports, 5G antennas, and fiber optic networks were all installed. The new tech allows for 4K broadcasts and supports VR and AR overlays for broadcasters. There's also enhanced fan Wi-Fi, covering 100% of the stands, bathrooms, and concessions. This first phase of construction added solar-ready roofing structures and new low-consumption LED lighting. Phase 2 will go even bigger, with solar pergolas in the parking lots, rainwater harvesting, and smart HVAC systems. The goal is a zero-energy stadium by 2030. Now here's the wildest part. All of this, field excavation, structural updates, seat installation, lighting, and acoustic upgrades, was completed in just 10 months. Construction started in July 2024 and wrapped up by mid-April 2025, just in time for the Copa del Rey final. The entire Phase 1 cost? Just 15 million euros. That's an engineering masterclass in budget efficiency. So how does a stadium with 70,000 seats, world-class design, and one of the most strategic locations in Seville manage to sit practically empty for over 2 decades? To answer that, you've got to rewind to 1999 when Estadio La Cartuja first opened its gates. Built for 120 million euros, the stadium was designed as a multi-sport Olympic-style venue, part of a bold move to bring the Summer Olympics to Seville. The site, Estadio de la Cartuja, was chosen for its wide-open space, just northwest of the historic city center. The stadium was sleek, modern, and ambitious, everything you'd expect from a country pushing to make its mark on the global sporting map. But from day one, something felt off. Unlike Madrid and Barcelona, where massive clubs like Real and Barca created decades of loyalty and weekly energy, Seville already had 2 big teams, Real Betis and Sevilla FC. And here's the thing, both clubs were fiercely loyal to their own homes. They had no interest in moving to a new stadium, no matter how modern it was. So Estadio La Cartuja, as impressive as it looked, became a venue without a heartbeat. No permanent tenants meant no weekly football meant no rhythm, and over time, the concrete giant started to feel more like a skeleton than a stadium. Then came the shift. On October 4th, 2023, FIFA dropped a bombshell. The 2030 World Cup was going to be spread across 6 nations: Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. And just like that, Spain went into stadium overdrive. Renovation plans started flying out from every corner of the country. Bernabeu got more funding. La Rosaleda in Malaga announced a full makeover. And finally, La Cartuja got the nod it had waited for since the turn of the century. It was selected as one of Spain's official host venues. For the first time in decades, La Cartuja had a purpose, and the timing couldn't have been better. The first phase of redevelopment, completed in April 2025, was all about impact without overspending. With just 15 million euros, engineers transformed the stadium's core function. Suddenly, La Cartuja wasn't just usable, it was desirable. The Copa del Rey final was hosted here just days after the renovation wrapped. National teams started booking dates, and fans, they started coming back. But that's just phase 1, the bigger play is what's coming next. Between 2027 and 2028, the stadium will undergo a second, much larger transformation with a projected budget of 100 million euros. This phase will tackle the roof, the skin, and everything in between. The current open roof setup will be replaced by a massive enclosed glass canopy, designed to enhance shade and create a more intense acoustic environment. All the old plastic seats will be swapped out for new, ergonomic ones. The concourses will be widened and modernized, concessions rebuilt, VIP lounges added, and every restroom brought up to modern standards. The outer shell of the stadium will be wrapped in a new facade, featuring LED displays and custom lighting for concerts, match nights, and national celebrations. And it doesn't stop at the stadium walls. The space around La Cartuja is getting an upgrade too. The city plans to build a new parking complex for over 12,000 vehicles, many of which will sit beneath solar pergolas, turning empty lots into energy-generating hubs. Over 900,000 square meters of public land will be developed into parks, fan zones, and entertainment districts. 3 new roads are being built to improve access, including a roundabout on Americo Vespuccio Street. And by 2030, a new metro line, Line 3, is expected to connect directly to the area, finally solving the stadium's long-standing transportation gap. There's even discussion about adding a commuter rail stop nearby. The plan is clear: make La Cartuja a complete experience, not just a stadium. In the middle of all this planning, two major plot twists have added both friction and opportunity. Around the same time La Cartuja's renovation was kicking off, both Betis and Sevilla FC announced their own stadium overhaul plans. Real Betis wanted to rebuild the Benito Villamarin. Sevilla FC unveiled plans to replace the historic Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. The catch? While their home grounds were under construction, they needed somewhere else to play, and that somewhere was La Cartuja. But the timing wasn't smooth. Betis initially planned to move out in 2024. When La Cartuja's renovation plan was announced, they had to push their schedule back by 2 years. That created tension between the clubs, the city, and the stadium's management company. But it also did something positive. It made La Cartuja necessary. For the first time in its life, it wasn't just a backup plan. It was a critical piece of Seville's football future. Starting in the 2025-26 season, both clubs are expected to play temporary matches at La Cartuja. That means for at least 2 years, the stadium will be used every week, sometimes twice a week. That's never happened before. But like every mega project, the road hasn't been completely smooth. There's been plenty of pushback. Critics argued that 15 million euros, followed by a 100 million euro second phase, could have gone to schools, hospitals, or transportation first. Some fans questioned why the city was pumping money into a stadium with no club when both Betis and Sevilla FC had already proven they could fill theirs. Construction crews faced early issues too. When they started digging to lower the pitch, they ran into unexpected underground utility lines that delayed foundation work for weeks. And even now, some insiders worry about the timeline for Phase 2, especially with the World Cup looming just 5 years away. Still, the numbers tell a different story. With 70,000 seats, La Cartuja is now Spain's third largest stadium. It's already booked for national finals, World Cup matches, and international friendlies. It has new tenants, new infrastructure, and a new identity. And the Phase 1 work? Completed in under 10 months, on time and on budget. That alone makes it one of the most efficient stadium projects in modern Europe. So if you want more epic revivals, forgotten mega projects, and unexpected engineering comebacks, you know what to do. Subscribe and drop a comment if you want us to uncover the next big transfer.